Yeah, and my mom, she had this chancla, man, that it had like a waffle on the bottom. But man, that thing you just will have the waffle right in your butt.
Dale.
Yeah, so our Bitcoin section, right, for all of the billionaires out there, right? Do you know this guy Chamath Palihapitiya?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah, he's a Facebook guy early on, wasn't he?
Yes, he was one of the early executives in Facebook. But there's something interesting about him too. In some point in 2010, he purchased 1 million bitcoins. So at the price of 30 cents. Imagine that.
Man, that's a great opportunity, buying opportunity right there.
Well, the interesting thing is that he was able to see how the Bitcoin is going to be transformational and put a lot of money, right? When literally nobody was transacting properly or there was not a lot of information. And he had a lot of conviction to
Mm-hmm.
be able to buy that many. By the way, in his personal side, everybody thinks that he's the Indian guy. He's not Indian. He's
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. What? Oh, okay.
It's from Sri Lanka,
Where's he from? Ah, okay.
and if you see the map from India, Sri Lanka is the island that is on the south on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot of people think that he's Indian. I mean, he looks Indianish, so I can see why. But the guy is
Yeah.
very articulated, almost no accent. I don't know when
Mm-hmm.
he came to US, but also in his personal side too. Uh, he talks on this on interviews and things like that uh, that he basically as a kid he was abused by his dad and
Mm.
basically he will be asked, hey, go to the backyard, get a stick. And as a kid he was thinking, should I get the thin one or the thick one, right? And then it's like he you can see when he's talking and saying that it actually has a trauma on that. He mentioned that he got
Oh.
better through the years with psychologists and all of that, but it affected him.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it sounds funny, but yeah, it's actually pretty serious. But I remember growing up. I mean, you get whooped every. I mean, we're traviesos, right? We get into a lot of trouble. I don't know if it's a common theme or not, but that cinto comes out like automatic, right? You know when you go, psh, psh, it's time, and they start chasing you. You're gonna get some welts.
in the, in the
What
Hispanic
about you? Did you have to
community.
experience the cinto, the belt
No,
for
not
the
the
you got
cinto, but the cinto is
uninitiated?
for those is the cinturón. That means in belt in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And no, we got the chancla. Yes, yeah, and my mom, she had this chancla, man, that it had like a waffle on the bottom, and I
Mm-hmm.
I almost remember that she probably lost the left chancla and she only kept the right one. I don't know why. Maybe it's because she can grab it. But man, that thing you just will have the waffle right in your butt.
Oh man.
so so yeah,
Yeah, it leaves a sting. It leaves a mark.
I feel for this guy, but I think that the way that he explains it is in a different level. I think that I
Yeah.
never was bled or I never was completely fully bruised, right? But it seems that this guy was
Mm-hmm.
like pretty bad shape, and I think that maybe a lot of his decisions to be able to make it is probably just to prove it, right? To his dad and all of that. I mean, the guy at some point owned it. As I said, 1 million bitcoins, which is almost the 20% of the circulation. It was in that time in 2010, there was close to 5 million bitcoins mined in that time.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, this guy owned it 20% of that supply, man.
Wow. I mean, you got to have some big huevos to really go all in on something like that, right? I mean, I guess at 30 cents at that time, that was maybe what, 300K? three
About,
hundred
I
thousand
mean,
dollars. So
it's still in all money. It's still probably equivalent to now
mhm.
maybe a million, which is
Yeah, I guess
sizable.
it's been 15 years. 14,
Hmm.
15 years ago, right? Yeah, 300K is still a good amount of money in today's dollars. I mean, I know we've seen some a bit of inflation recently, but still good amount, a good chunk of money.
Talking about huevos, all in huevos. That's the name of his podcast.
That's not a bad name, huh?
Remove the huevos. But the name of his podcast is called All In, and the reason why is because
Uh-huh.
they are poker players. Uh, that was literally
Ah,
all in, right? So, and in the description of their website and their podcast, it basically says industry veterans, degenerates, gamblers, and besties.
oh, and besties,
Yeah, and
man, we
besties.
we add that to ours, huh?
We should add maybe exactly like the degenerates or the besties or both.
Yeah.
so
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 that's
yeah,
probably why he said, "Okay, I'm all in on this Bitcoin." He made his big bet, 300K, right? Because at the time, he was probably still a Facebooker. I'm assuming at that time,
I
and
think
this is kind of
so.
what helped
I
him
will have to see
launch.
the timeline, but he probably was in Facebook still.
Hmm. Well, that's pretty cool. I guess for those of y'all interested in some of the stuff, there's a bit of overlap because they cover economics, tech, political, social, and I guess poker too, since that's the name of the podcast, right? All in.
Yeah,
Um, Check them out.
there
See
there
what y'all
are their
think.
content is interesting. They sometimes I feel that it's more macro. They're trying because these guys now they have bigger money, right? You're talking about billions, and
Mhm.
sometimes they mess with Jason Calacanis because he's not.
Uh,
So it's like you that you have like 300 meals, right? You're
what do the peasants think about this?
what did the peasants?
300 million, right?
So and they, again they troll him on the pod, right? So and but I think that Jason is a champ. He takes it like humbly. He's like, well, I'm getting there little by little.
Yeah.
So
That was
I
pretty
think that
cool.
that's an interesting question, right? Like what he has a couple jumps and then he became a billionaire. What would you do, right?
Mhm.
If if you do that jump, right, from 100 meals to then you jump into the billionaire. I know what this guy did,
Yeah,
but what would you do?
yeah, I guess it's pretty hard. It depends. Are you um are you content? Or are you trying to continue to build, right? Jason's saying, you're right, he's got a few hundred million already. Does he want to go into that next realm? When you're talking about that big amount of money, there's only so many things that you can do. And we've talked about a few things, right? Like in the Billionaire Watch series, we talk about how there's a lot of people buying farmland. Why is that going to be a big thing coming up? Some people are part of companies like we talked about the eyewear brand. We talked about LVMH, right? Louis Vuitton, with the Pope over there, the Pope of fashion. I mean, I think I'm interested in products, big luxury wealth type products. If I was in that, I tend to gravitate towards that. So maybe something like that might be fun. What about you?
You will make a purse.
A man purse.
A man purse. Uh, it's like a Lululemon man purse. So
Well,
this guy, what
maybe
he
a
did,
product that might be fun,
might be fun for sure.
besides the obvious philanthropy kind of stuff, because I think that's super important. And obviously this podcast is about like empowering different people, including Latinos and things like that. So that's something for sure I would do. But then some other things would be interesting.
Which I think that this guy is doing, trying to merge those two, meaning a business and philanthropy, which is
Hmm.
interesting because the name of
Mm.
his company now is called Social Capital. And the guy, I
Okay.
remember why I started following him or watching his content because the guy is brown, right? And he
Hmm.
says, uh, "You got to get the fucking money." Literally, I'm quoting him. So in order to be on
Hmm.
the big table, which I think that the more we get wealthy, we all brown people, we can get seat on the table. And he's right. It's just how you get diversity. That's how you get to also influence political kind of rules and organizations and companies, right? And he's very vocal on this, and that's the reason why uh, I think that his ideas are interesting, and he's also looking into emerging technology, the trends, how he can partner with different entrepreneurs. Very Silicon Valley heavy, but still some of the very libertarian thinking, right? That also, I
Mm.
guess, brown people matter, right? So I don't. We don't have a movement, so let's call it that for now.
That's a good one. Yeah, maybe yeah, we'll come up with one. Maybe that's
We have
something
to
that we
come up
can do.
with
We
a
can
movement, right?
start a
So
movement.
yeah, to get empowered. So
I'm an inclusive kind of guy though, so I like to have something that's inclusive and positive. So we'll see. We'll work on it.
we'll work on it. All right, man.
Yeah.
What else?
I think that's all we got for today. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. You know, we love to hear from you. If you haven't watched our viral Bitcoin all-time high meme remix, check it out on our channel. You know, that's all we've got for today. Vale.
Dale.